Who do you have coming out the West?
I would be honest, man. It's game time, man. Check your watch. It's game
What?
time, man.
I mean, and coming off the bench isn't a bad thing.
It's going to be hard for them to replace Russ.
You are tuned into Hot Take Season,
2-3 years of
where these hot takes are rated E for everyone.
a rotation of quarterbacks. Like, that's going to be a while. I think they'll go to the
Hot Take Season. Hot Take Season. Hot Take Season.
What up? What up? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hot Take Season, where these hot takes are rated E for everybody. I'm your host, Me, the homie Jeremy, checking in to co-host this segment with me. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm good. Back in the stride again. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, so we're going to get into some NFL talk. So our week 6 matchup of the week, and y'all, we were supposed to do an NFL matchup of every week, but it's been rough. So for week 6, we got the Bills at the Chiefs. Jay, tell me what you're thinking about this matchup.
It should be a really good matchup. Both teams are on fire right now. I feel like the Bills probably have a little bit of the edge as far as defense-wise, but I feel like offense there, I think this could possibly be a shootout. It's not going to be a low-scoring game at all, despite both defenses having success this year. But I don't feel like, this is going to be a game where we're going to see little small score, little 28 here or 22 type game. No, this should be a shootout type of game. But let me go on record as saying this. Every time we say that it's going to be a shootout between teams,
not a shootout.
It's not a shootout. So I really don't even know what to expect anymore. But it should be based off the numbers, based off what we've seen these past few weeks, based off the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, the way that these guys are on fire right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, Travis Kelce, like, oh my God. This man didn't even have like 30 yards. I don't believe. He probably did end up getting to 30 yards and had 4 touchdowns last night.
4 touchdowns.
Like 4. And didn't even have to get to like 60 yards or anything. Just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love it. So to see that, I think this is going to be a really good matchup. I think, like I said, this could possibly be a shootout, but, we've been wrong before. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think I chose this matchup because honestly, it's probably going to be the best matchup of the week.
Yeah.
Because you got pretty much the 2 top AFC teams going at it, and then it's coming off of last year's, I think, the divisional round.
Yeah.
When they played each other and Kansas City came through at the end. So the Bills look a lot better. It's still early in the season right now. But yeah, the Bills are killing it right now. Josh Allen is playing lights out. And I think a lot of us expected that at the end of last season, for him to really have I don't know what I want to call it, a breakout year, but just to build upon what they had going last year. So they added some pieces over there. So yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good matchup. I don't know. Who you taking to win this one?
Oh man. You know what? Like I said, I feel like defense-wise, the Bills have a slight edge because Von Miller has turned back the hand of time. And he's been over there making his presence known. So I believe that the Bills have a slight edge. So I'm going to go with them to win this game by 3.
You going with them to win by 3?
Yeah.
I can see that. I'm going to go Bills by 7, though.
By 7?
Yeah, I'm going to go Bills by 7.
And you know what? It possibly could be that. You know what I'm saying? Because oh man, it's just so hard.
It's a tough matchup. Such a good this game, is why man. I chose this one.
Yeah. And just the with Josh Allen, how he's gotten better year after year. You know what I'm saying? And I go back to what and I trust me, y'all. I really don't like this guy, but I have to go back to what he said. This is Colin Coward. Did I say his last name right? Colin Coward. whatever. But
Oh.
y'all know what I'm talking about. He was taking up and he was like, yo, Josh Allen and Sam Darnold are going to be the quarterbacks of the league that's going to do this and this and that. I didn't feel like it would be Sam Darnold, but I did feel like Josh Allen would take that leap. And he was right about him. And every year he has gotten better. He's gotten better just every year. You just like, bruh, like this guy can let it fly. He can let it spin. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's finding guys open. And it's just, I love it. I love the progress from him and the progression from him. So, yeah. This is, like I said, this is going to be a good game. But because of Josh Allen and that defense, I'm giving them the edge to win this.
Yeah, I'm with you. And looking at Kansas City's defense, they're not the worst of the worst, but they're not the best either.
Right.
And Pittsburgh,
you just never know what you're going to get from them, though.
Right. And I'm just looking at Pittsburgh has been a team that's known for their defense up under Mike Tomlinson. And this last game, I mean, obviously Pittsburgh is not that right now.
Right.
But Josh Allen had over 400 yards passing against Pittsburgh. He had 400 passing against Miami, and they're a better defense, So yeah, just going off of that, this might be another close to, or if not 400 passing yard game for Josh Allen.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my
with that.
hot
We
take
could
with that one.
Yeah, I agree. And we could possibly be looking at a divisional or the AFC championship game match. Like, I believe these are going to be the team. And I feel like the NFL will want that as well because it will be more exciting as of right now. We've seen crazier things happen in the NFL where teams get hot mid-season and they go on the run and you're like, oh, they could be the team that, you know what I'm saying? But as of right now, these two teams right here could be the matchup that will sell out, that will give you the views that you want to see in an AFC championship game.
Yeah, they look like the two best teams right now. Now, granted, the Dolphins were balling prior to Tua getting injured. But I mean, we're not even halfway through the season. So we'll just see how the Bills can, hold it all together.
Right.
But what was funny to me is, of course, on paper, when Denver got Russell Wilson, it was, the Broncos might get the AFC West. And then Devontae Adams goes to the Raiders, and it's like, now Derek Carr really got some help over there. Maybe the Raiders, and it's not going good for either team right now. The Chiefs are still the dominant team over there.
Right, they are, and the thing about it when it comes with with Russ and the Broncos or whatever, I feel like it's a chemistry issue that's going along with that, coaching and wide receivers. I feel like they just got to get it together. And then as far as the Raiders, anyway. I just don't know what to say at this point. You know what? And I threw this out at one of my friends. I said I wouldn't be surprised if I think they extended Derek Carr this summer, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're willing to eat that, trade him off, bring in Aaron Rodgers, and have him to link back up with his boy, and with the receivers that they do have to go along with Devontae Adams, with the coaching experience coming from Bill Belichick, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, and I feel like they would have a better chance next season to kind of dominate the AFC. Because Aaron Rodgers is technically on a 1-year contract. Because all his other years is voided, if I'm not mistaken.
That's going to be a tricky situation. And it's crazy because coming into this season, I felt like Derek Carr wasn't a bad quarterback. He just didn't have all the necessary support he needed. When you go and look at his stats, he would have great stats. But the Raiders still weren't going anywhere with him. And he caught a lot of blame that I felt like he didn't necessarily deserve. But now it's like when you have a weapon like Devontae Adams and he's only getting 2 or 3 targets or receptions through 3 quarters, that's kind of crazy to me. Now, granted, Josh Jacobs is eating on the ground, You know what I mean? But that just became a thing within the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So, and I mean, it's going to take them time to get everything under wraps, of course, because it is still early in the season. But I didn't see the Raiders starting out 1-4.
1-4. Yeah, that's my thing. Like 1-4. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like because I can't think of their coach's name. I just know he came from the Patriots. Is it Daniels?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like he's an offensive minded coach. So I feel like he can get this thing rolling and get it together. But at the same time, if they don't, you see what I'm saying? Like you will have to really question like the Derek Carr situation. You know what I'm saying? Like say, hey, you know what? We'll sign Aaron, like I said, and we'll trade you over there to the Green Bay, which is not a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a bad situation over there. Who's to say that he may not go over there and, ball out or whatever like that?
So
But I
you
just
think
feel
they
like
done? You think the Packers are done with the Jordan Love experiment?
oh yeah, they're done with the Jordan Love experiment. I feel like we found that out during preseason. He sucks. I don't even know why they took him in the first round. I always question that. And they was trying to give like a lot of people said it was for Aaron Rodgers to scare him. And I was like, you could have did better than Jordan Love, though, if you felt like you wanted to do that. Like, no, like, come on. He was never worried about his
job. I don't know. That AFC West is gonna be a tricky thing. But yeah, the Bills and the Chiefs look to be those top two teams in the AFC right now, pending how the Dolphins can bounce back.
Most definitely.
And obviously, we want the Ravens and Lamar Jackson to get it together. Because, I mean, they've been winning, but it ain't been pretty,
yeah, it ain't been pretty. And let me just say this, though. When I go back to seeing him, I know we got to move on, but I got to say this about Lamar. Me and you have always talked about, and I remember when we did a space where people, I think it was the Eagles guy, where we were saying, we wouldn't put Lamar up there just yet because of his inaccuracy. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I've seen some of that this season.
Yeah.
Granted, I've seen some. We've always seen like, okay, yeah, Lamar, we know you can do it because we've seen flashes. This season, we've seen flashes, but he has overthrown a lot of his wide open receivers deep downfield.
You know
and
what?
So
though?
this is.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, this is where we kind of like, was questioning him. But there's no doubt that if I'm the Ravens, I'm still going to give him his money.
Yeah, I think Lamar through these first 5 weeks has shown that he deserves that. And I don't know if you saw it, but I was going back and forth with a coach on Twitter because they were in a Lamar had the Ravens up by a lot. I want to say it's 17 points or so against was it the Dolphins, I believe?
Yep. That's when the Dolphins came back. Yeah.
Yeah. We can't blame that on Lamar. Like he had them up. You know what I mean? Now, granted, obviously,
that's all defense right there.
Right. You go through a quarter and you walking away with field goals. That's not ideal. Right. We want you to put up more points. But when you've had that big of a gap in scoring, there's no way your defense should give it up that easy. So with things like that, it's like, yeah, Lamar deserves his money.
Yeah, most definitely.
So yeah, I can't take those things for him, but I have seen improvement with him as well. So I mean, I give that to him.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think the next best matchup.
Come on now.
Not our matchup of the week, but it's the next best matchup.
Come on.
It's gonna be the Cowboys at the.
Let's go. I'm sorry.
I love it. Oh, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and take the cake on that. I know you got to say on that.
The last time we recorded, we did not think that this team would be in this situation that they're in now.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, we both said, please prove us wrong. I wanted to be proven wrong. And I thank this defense so much for proving us wrong. We had no doubt about how great this defense was going to be this season. We thought that this defense could possibly turn it up even more, and they have. It's been more upfront. You haven't seen too many of the interceptions or anything like that. It's been more of we got to get to the quarterback. That's got to be our thing this season. Get to the quarterback, pressure the quarterback. They lead the league in QB pressures. And that's what you want. Because when you do that, guess what? The quarterback is not able to do his thing, and the team can't score. The offense can't score. Mm-hmm. So that's what's been happening. For all of you people that feels like Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott, I want you to take all fingers on your right hand, spread them apart, and I want you to smack yourself. Because one touchdown per game, if we have to get into a shootout with a team, is not going to cut it. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you now. Dak Prescott give us the big play ability. And when he comes back, and if this defense is still playing that same way, and if Keelan Moore is still calling the plays, the running plays that we've been asking him to call since last season and the season before that, we're going to kill teams. Do you hear me? We are going to kill teams. This is what we've been asking for. And let Dak eat when he's ready to. Don't force him to throw the ball down the field. Like, I think the interview that Keelan Moore had that disturbed me was when he was like, the quarterback in him allows him to call these plays to throw the ball as much as he allows Dak to. And I was just like, bruh, I really want to come smack you right now because you put my QB in situations that he don't need to be in. Like, even Dak said in the offseason, we have to find a way to run the ball more. He doesn't want to throw the ball as much as they've been making him to. But he doesn't mind because he's like, I can go toe-to-toe with anybody. But at the same time, he's like, let's pound this rock because I know the running backs that I have in this room. And get to this matchup. Let me just say this. This is going to be a heck of a game. This is not going to be high scoring unless our defense allows it to be high scoring. But the way both defenses are playing right now, I can't see it being a high scoring game. I believe that the Cowboys are going to win this game. If it's Cooper Rush, I'm going 22-20. If it's Dak Prescott, I'm going 38-24. Cowboys.
Wait, whoa.
Let's go. Yes. Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
38.
Yes. To 24 or 20, whatever I said. 38 of them things. Dak Prescott if he plays this week, we're going to eat. He's going to be excited. He's going to be ready to throw. And I believe that with the fact that Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb, like, I feel like they're ready for Dak to come back. They want their stats. Think about it. CeeDee Lamb has to get paid in like 2 years. So he wants to continue to build. He's not going to get there with Cooper Rush. Even though I feel like, yes, of course, they want to win as well, but they want their money at the end of the day as well, too. Dak is going to be able to be that guy for them. It's not going to be Cooper Rush. So I need Dak to play this week. I'm sorry. I need Dak to play. I feel like we'll win either way, but I want to squash the Eagles because I'm tired of hearing about that. I'm tired of hearing about them being undefeated. I'm tired of hearing about – I don't listen to all Eagles fans that's listening to this. Forget y'all. This is hate week. Forget y'all this week. But I'm going to say that I'm passing to you, man. I'm going to say this. I've always felt like they drafted well. I feel like they dived into free agency very well, and they built this team around Jalen Hurts very well. So shout out to their front office. Shout out to the coach. Shout out to the team rattling behind their QB and just this team, man. They're doing a phenomenal job, and I can't take anything away from them. Even if they do lose to us, I can't take anything away from them, man. They're doing a phenomenal job this year.
All right. That was Jay's take. I see this being a defensive battle. Dallas's defense has been playing really, really well. Say what you want about the offenses they've been going against, but this defense has still been playing really, really well. If they could get the offense to show up to the party, things get out of hand. I don't think Dak plays this week. Honestly, he needs to sit out another week. it's not panic time for me right now. And so yeah, go ahead and let him rest another week. Make sure he's healthy. But yeah, offense just has to get clicking. And a lot of people are like, well, soon as Dak gets back, and I'm like, this offense was struggling with Dak. Y'all have to see that. Y'all have to. I see it. I know y'all got to see the offense has struggled some with Dak. Like, it's not been what it should be. But I will say them
Do you think
bringing
it's more of Keelan Moore with the play calling, or is it more of just the chemistry that needs to happen?
it's a lot to do with chemistry. I don't think Dak and CD and even Dak and Gallup has a good chemistry that would be very helpful for them to win games right now. Play calling does go into that too, though. So I'm not absolving Kellen Moore by any means. I'm just saying there's a lot of factors that go into why the offense isn't playing up to their potential. But a good thing is that they did bring in Jason Peters, and we noticed a difference with the offensive line when he's in the game. And I feel a little bit better about Tyler Smith than I have before. Now, granted, still a rookie, still got a long way to go, but there's improvement there.
That's our left tackle, man.
Huh?
I think we've seen the last of Tyron Smith, unless he's willing to take a backup role.
Maybe. You know how Dallas like to hold on to people. So
I know.
And it's funny because every time I'm talking to my friend about the Cowboys game, like during the game, and I start making a joke about Tyler Smith, and he'll start defending him. As soon as we're done, Tyler Smith gets a penalty, and I'm like, dang it, I just said this. He took 2 steps forward, and there goes the one back. But Tyler has been getting better each week. And I can appreciate that. I think Dallas can afford to run the ball more. And then still find ways to call better plays and get your receivers better involved. But y'all gonna hate me for this, because I think Philly might have the edge in this one. I think they might. Just from the offensive standpoint.
I can't even necessarily, even though I picked the Cowboys, this is fandom in me, but I can't necessarily even agree with you on that because they've been playing so dang good.
Yeah. I would love for Dallas to be the team to, humble them at this point. But I mean, I probably would be a little more confident with Dak at the helm versus Cooper Rush. And that's not saying that Cooper Rush has been bad, but Dallas only scored 1 touchdown last week against the Rams, and that was by way of Tony Pollard. So, take that for what you will.
Right.
But yeah, so of course I'm rooting for Dallas to win, but I understand if it goes the other way.
Yeah, and shout out to Jerry Jones though for basically, and this is what I had to let people know. Jerry sells tickets. Jerry sells media. This is what he loves. When Jerry said that he wanted a QB controversy, a lot of y'all have taken it out of context. We basically kind of knew what Jerry was talking about. And he's been for the last couple of weeks making it known. I ain't paying no $40 million quarterback to sit on the sideline as a backup this season.
Right.
Period. And what he said was the way that our defense is playing, and with Dak being back, give us the big playability because he wants to see what, the Bills offense is doing and what, Kansas City is doing. Now, granted, I'm not saying that, Dak is Patrick Mahomes or anything like that. But what I'm saying is he gives our wide receivers a better chance to go deeper down the field and to make those type of plays. And Jerry wants to see that as well. He wants to see it on both sides, and he's letting y'all know Cooper Rush ain't the guy to give it to you.
Nah, Dak is definitely Dak right now is the guy. People are prisoners of the moment. You know what I mean? Cooper Rush go out there, manages the game, and get you to win, and everybody just forgets what the situation really is. Like I said, understand they only scored one touchdown last week against the Super Bowl defending Rams. Now, obviously, the Rams are not the same team that they were when they won the Super Bowl, but scoring one touchdown offensively, and it came by way of a run, not your quarterback, that says a lot. So yeah, I mean, and honestly, if Dallas wins, I think it's going to come by way of the defense. So
most definitely, it definitely is. This is what has been happening these past few weeks. And my thing is, and because I've seen a few people, a couple of knuckleheads, and I'm gonna leave it alone after this, say that, oh, remember, they was trying to go back to Dak rookie season. First of all, Tony Romo was already injury prone. The fan base was already basically kind of tired of Tony Romo at that point. We were tired. We was ready for a new quarterback. Dak came in and took the lead by storm. This is not a Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is not doing what Dak was doing his rookie season, y'all. That's not it. Dak was on a whole different level.
Dak had a better run game his rookie season than he does now. And that's because Zeke was a lot younger. There were no film on these guys. And he could afford to toss it off, and the line was going to block, and Zeke was going to do the rest.
Right. And then Dak had a lot of games that season where he threw multiple touchdowns. And then he didn't really even have to do as much because he had, you know what I'm saying, Zeke doing what he was doing. Now, granted, Dak's sophomore year, we started to see a little more of that arm. We started to see him grow more. Then he started to throw for 300 yards. And you know what I'm saying? And who's to say Cooper Rush may grow into that? But it won't be for this team. I would not be surprised if a team tries to come and get Cooper Rush next season. Take him. Cool. We good. But at the same time, I need y'all to understand who's the guy in this locker room. Everybody knows that. This offense knows that. These coaches knows that. That's why, like, I need everybody to understand. Not everybody, because it's only the knucklehead. Some guy called him. He said it's the tinfoil hat fans that I'm making these comments. But anyway, just with the game, I feel like this is going to be the best game of the year. I feel like it's going to be one of them type of games where we're going to still be talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on, though, we got our first coach fired of the season.
Man, early.
Early. So Matt Rhule is fired by the Panthers. Yeah, and they still owe him like $40 million. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
We predicted this, man. I need everybody to go back and listen to this podcast. The first podcast that we did, I think, right after preseason or right before the first season of the year, we predicted this. We said if Matt Rhule then go out here and try to have one of those type of seasons with this team, that he would probably be fired this year. And I didn't think it was going to come this early, but it happened. And I know they was talking about on Undisputed, it wasn't because of Baker Mayfield. I don't think so. I just don't feel like he was the guy for the job. And is it going to question how teams go about hiring coaches? Is going to be based off, offensive coordinators who've been in the NFL and kind of knows these teams? Are they going to be afraid to bring in some college coaches? I feel like a little bit, but at the same time, they're not going to be, because everybody has to start somewhere. You see what I'm saying? There's going to be a head coach from college that may say, I don't mind not being a head coach and come call some offensive plays or come call some defensive plays in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? You may have some of those guys just willing to kind of take that little demotion because they're like, yo, I'm in the NFL now and I can show what I can do on that level and then possibly become the head coach. Or there are some that's going to still come in as head coaches. I don't feel like the Matt Rhule firing is going to steer teams away from that. Like I said, I think a little bit.
I think this is just another example of that whole going from college to being a head coach in the NFL. There's a lot of unsuccessful stories with that.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah, like there's a list. I think the one who's been probably that comes to mind right now is, I would say, like the most successful of it is probably Pete Carroll. And I think he was an offensive coordinator. He was a coordinator first before he was, a head coach. And so, like you just said, it might work out better that way versus just going straight into a head coaching position because it's getting crazy.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. And then my thing is with Matt Rhule, listen, I mean, you're still from the beginning your money. Go and go back to the college level. There's going to be some college teams out there, man, that's going to be ready for you. The NFL ain't it, dog. Like, unless you're just going to be a coordinator of some sort, go back like Chip Kelly did. And look at the success Chip Kelly is having over there with UCLA. He has his team ranked in the top 10 now. It took a couple of years, but he went back, and that's where he belongs. Some people just belong in college. Nick Saban did not belong in the NFL. He went back to college, and he's had way more success. Some people just don't cut it, it's not for everybody.
Urban Meyer, we saw how that
went Urban Meyer,
year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, some guys you meant for college because you're able to kind of, you're able to kind of instill in these guys what you want, and now the NFL is kind of tougher. I feel like you got to be on another level of coaching and have a real mindset for these, because you're dealing with grown men in college too, but they're still trying to grow up.
Right.
By the time they get in the NFL, they know where they at. They know where they're trying to go, what they want to be, and you're not going to tell them too much.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're going to buff back at you. They're going to talk back to you and all that type of stuff. In college, they're a little more humble because they know they're learning, because they're trying to get to that next level. When they make it there, period. Like it's a little tougher. So best of luck to him and whatever he gonna have going. But yeah, this was already on the table.
Yeah. So they face the Rams in week 6. Who do you have winning that one?
Rams. I think it's time for the Rams to they're gonna come back and kind of show who they are. I don't feel like Sean McVay is gonna allow that to happen. This should be a game that they should win. Yeah. And then after that, they should, get back rolling. So I'm definitely going with the Rams.
Yeah, I think the Rams this should be a gimme for them.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, you got any other hot takes before we go?
Any other hot takes? Nah, I don't think I got any other hot takes.
I got one. One. So we talked about we talked about the Cowboys defense a little earlier. And my boy Dorrance Armstrong has been showing out. Like, we expect Michael Parsons to show up. You know what I mean? We expect Tank to do his thing with the caliber player he is, the contract he got. We expect those two to show up. But what matters is who else is going to join the party. And Dorrance Armstrong has said, let me in the dough. So I'm going. My hot take for this episode is Dorrance Armstrong is going to end this season with 10 sacks or more.
I believe it. I believe in that. I'm with that. Like, I really believe in that, yo. You know what? I'm gonna throw a hot take out there. Here we go. I'm going to say that when the season ends, Jalen Hurts will have 15 plus rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
Yeah, he's already at 6. So I think he's gonna hit 15 plus. Period.
That'd be dope for him.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. All right. Oh, well, thank you guys for tuning in to Hot Take Season. Thank you, Jay, again. Y'all hit us up with y'all's hot takes for week 6. Let us know and we can talk about it. We're also going to do a spaces towards the end of the week, gearing up for Sunday. So you guys tap in with us on Twitter. Be on the lookout for that spaces. The Twitter handle is @HotTakeSzn. Oh, and one last thing.
Rule number 1, never commit to a coach past 3 seasons and give him full control of the roster if he's not a proven winner, let alone 7 seasons. Come on, Carolina. Rule number 2, Never have a Christian McCaffrey and give him an offensive line that's softer than the drinks at the McCafé. Rule number 3, never in your life expect to have credibility as a coach when you look like you're fresh off a weekend bender every Sunday and you bet your job on the backs of Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. You're clearly in need of treatment. Rule number 4, never come out of college to the pros and think you'll operate 53 grown men making more money than you like some hungry kids at Baylor. And this rule specifically is why you, sir, Mr. Matt, are the latest college coach turned pro to bite the proverbial NFL dust. But hey, keep pounding.